What is up, everybody? I am back, and this is the next LOL Champ review. Kevin here to bring you another great champion, and this week it's going to be Sona, and I'm going to start off by saying that the 2016 preseason patch just was released today, and that has brought huge changes to the Summoner's Rift, guys. I'm so excited. I've been playing all day so that when I made my video, I would make sure that I kind of had a better idea of what I was talking about with some of the new items, rather than just going off of theory by reading the new items and then bringing it into a game and just throwing whatever out there. I wanted to do some tests, and the champion I tested the most was actually Sona, and Sona is so gosh darn beautifully powerful with these new items, in my opinion. Like, awesome, absolutely awesome. From what I've gathered, she used to be very strong. I used to play her a little bit, and now she's just super strong, like over the moon, over the moon, over the moon, and it's fantastic. The biggest changes being that ADCs got huge buffs and updates and changes, and they have just become so much more incredibly impactful than they used to be, and they already were a very impactful class within the game, or champion role. Milk. But yeah, ADCs, and then I would have to go with the masteries. Basically went from being a big deal to a huge deal, where masteries can change the very way you're going to play each champion, where there are multiple ways you could go about trying to play them based on mastery pages alone. Masteries would warrant its own, like, hour-long video of explanations, and essentially it comes down to preference and what you feel comfortable with and all of that. And unfortunately, this is not a kind of a mastery description kind of place. This is a champ review kind of place, and so if you want to go ahead and look at some of the masteries, I'll go ahead and put a link in the probably the paragraph that's going to be above my head before the video. And that should take you to a spot where you can go ahead and look at all the new masteries and kind of what they do. Right now, I'm running some 0.18.12, I believe, on Sona. And Sona is an AP support. And yeah, her passive makes it so that every third spell, based on what spell she's got kind of used or recently used, she does a super big hit on her next auto attack that does a special effect on the enemy. When she has Q powered up, it's a big damage hit. When she has W, I think it's reduces the enemy's total damage output. And when she has her E up, it slows an enemy by 40%. It also does bonus damage regardless, but it does more bonus damage with Q. And then her ultimate shoots out a little thing in front of her, a little row, as you can see underneath the words, and that stuns and forces everyone in it to dance for a little bit. It's hilarious. It's wonderful. So I'm starting with the Spell Thief's Edge, 3 biscuits, because of my upgrade turns potions into biscuits, which are just like slightly better potions, but they're better, and it's wonderful. You can see I started with her Q because I'm going to go aggressive and try to poke. And what her Q does is it damages the 2 nearest enemies, but it prioritizes champions. And it also gives an aura that grants allies 20 plus 3 currently additional magic damage on their next attack for 5 seconds. As well as Sona's aura lasts 3 seconds and extended by 0.5 seconds for each ally I aid with the aura. My aura of healing She uses a bunch of different auras by casting a spell, and basically all around her she creates an aura, which is kind of nice. And an aura is like a status effect or a nearby effect. She heals essentially with her W. This heal is increased based on missing health of my target. And people inside of the aura after I use the heal ability will also get a shield. And then my E is a movement speed buff that goes ahead and buffs the movement speed of all people around me, essentially. It's quite nice, quite wonderful. You're going to see that I went a little too aggressive because I was talking. That's not a big deal. Should be okay here. I'll just use one of my many health potions I brought. This Caitlyn doesn't seem to be very familiar with her last hitting. I'm going to have to try and help out as much as I can. So now that I've kind of given you a rundown of the skills briefly, your main job as Sona is to either go heal or support pokey. And I go support pokey in the attempt to push the enemy team out of lane, especially with the enemy team kind of being their champions they have here. Wow, lots of pinging. The enemy team doesn't really have any heals in this lane, which means any of the damage I land is really going to stick. And you can see we've already dropped her to below half health. And she is now basically out of health potions. That's going to hurt her. And I'm going to be able to continue to just poke them both with that champion prioritizing Q. And you can see it doesn't use a lot of mana. So you can really just kind of go nuts with her abilities as long as you have the right masteries and items and stuff like that. It can allow you to be pretty darn aggressive. You can see that we won that fight by a mile. I almost got 2 kills there for our support, but I was unable to. Or as the support, I almost got 2 kills, or I almost gave her 2 kills. Shoot, I'm for some reason taking last hits, and I don't mean to. And we are actually doing a substantial amount of damage to turrets. It would appear that they're thinking of trying to gank us, but it looks like they might have backed off. I'm going to go ahead and ward the other bush that we have. Give us nice total coverage here. As a support, your job is to protect the ADC, not to take the CS, but to help them CS, kind of counter to what you have to do with a lot of the other champions. Sona is basically just all about keeping your allies' health up while keeping your enemies' health down. And you can see that we've been pretty decently effective in that so far this game. We've found pretty decent success at poking the enemy's HP. They've really been struggling to do much of anything. I basically am just zoning right now, which what that is I am protecting our ADC by staying in between her and the enemy champions. And the enemies know if they get too close, I'm just going to hit them with those spells, drop their health a ton, and put them in a position where they can no longer stay in lane. Kind of like Jax is in now, which is the guy with the lamp. He's almost dead again, and he's all going to have to back for a second time already, and we're only level 4. Those are 2 really quick backs to force onto your opponents. That's really helping us. And you can see that their Callista isn't really able to even CS as an ADC right now, because I've put her in such a poor position. But unfortunately, our Caitlyn is really, really bad at CSing herself. She probably does not play ADC a lot. So all I'm doing is trying to poke the enemy team a little bit. I am lagging actually right now. Why am I lagging? I haven't lagged in 3 videos. Oh man, they're gonna get double. I lagged out there. I didn't get to see anything of what was going on, which is really disappointing. Because we should have been able to pick up quite a bit there, and because of how bad I lagged, you really just kind of had to see the screen jump around and couldn't make out much else. It frustrates me when I lag, so I don't know why I'm lagging either. I think it's actually the recording software putting a lot of strain on the computer right now. Which I don't understand why, because it doesn't normally do that. It really doesn't. Sometimes it does, I guess, though, and that's what I'm going to have to live with. So, I guess I'm not going to be able to play as aggressively as I would like at the moment. I'm going to haul back to our Caitlyn. Make sure I wait for her. My ping seems to have dropped, though, while being passive, so that's very nice. Okay, never mind. See, Jax is at their dragon right now. What we might want to do is start thinking about how we could potentially make our way towards dragon if our team would need us to. Looks like our team does. Nope, dragon is fine. That ward helped to ensure that. It looks like they're just trying to bait us into a poor position here. Jax is in our jungle. V is just slapping. Oh man, and Jax goes down. That was a really good play by our team to help put us in a decent position. What I really need is to just burn. There we go. Whoops. Well, looks like I took that. Well, it looks like I'm dead. And it looks like she died too, but that's not really her fault. We got ganked very, very hard there. So, the first item I recommend you finish on Sona is the new Frost Clean claim. It's going to give you ability power, mana regen, cooldown reduction, gold per 10 seconds. It's going to give you gold every time you hit the enemy champion, and it's going to allow you to slow enemy champions that kind of get too close. So it gives her a lot, and there are 2 weaker items that it kind of built out of there that I'm been a little neglectful of talking like I should. Those were the Spell Thief's Edge, which builds into Frost Fang. And those two items really go ahead and help. You can see I get 1 gold every time she's killing something. That's another new mastery that I had been talking about earlier. I recommend you take it as a support. It's a nice amount of early little extra gold. Is it super crazy amounts of gold? No, but it's a nice amount of gold. Come the end of the game, it's a lot more substantial than you really think. It can add up if your team CS as well. And you can see that my Q is really starting to deal damage now to the enemy team. We've got Jax all the way below half health already. Really? Snipe! Oh my gosh, is our Caitlyn pretty bad. She could have had both of those kills. Yeah. At least she's not lying or she's not like a jerk. I'd much rather play with somebody that's a little bit newer on something than a total jerk about it. The Kali's going to be able to pick up that kill. I'll be able to heal people up, and we're going to be able to try and make plays here, which is nice. Darn it, and I could not get to her in time to heal, which is what she really needed. Oh boy! This isn't my cup of tea right now. Too much unknown variables, too many unknown variables. No, you're not coming this way. Whoop! I'll see you later. Oh no! And I'm out of mana. This isn't good. So you can see during the team fight there, my goal was to kind of just keep using my Q and then my heals to keep people alive, while speed boosting whenever I could to try and help champions move around. Sona is a lot of managing what aura you have up at the given time to be helping out the champions you need to in your given area. It can sometimes be a lot to try and juggle and get difficult if you're not used to it. So I recommend practicing her a little bit as you're before you take it into like any ranked or anything like that. But I prefer to max her damage spell and to try and help out with kills, and then secondary her heal, while going ahead and just keeping 1 point in the Song of Celerity for boosting movement speed and helping to build up the third hit with her passive, which is nothing to be laughed at. You can go ahead and build up that passive pretty much as often as you want, and it's always going to be useful for the most part. Oh man, and Akali way overextended for that kill. I'm gonna die, but she'll get away. And they'll actually get a kill there. So I died, but I got my team an assist. Not the end of the world, but unfortunately 2 of us died for that, and that is pretty hurtful. Now their Jack support is actually doing really, really well. He's on a huge killing spree. This is really bad for us. And now he's not on a huge killing spree. And you can see Caitlyn ran out of mana, I think, there, and overextended because of it. I think she thought she had mana when she didn't. You can see I'm boosting my movement speed to try and get in there for my team, and it's not going to be enough. We need to go for Dragon. Dragon just came up. Sona, you're obviously not going to be doing a ton of damage to Dragon, but you can certainly help support your team while they're doing it. As soon as she takes damage, you're going to see me start trying to zone him at least for her. Oh, and this is bad. They're getting flanked pretty hard at this point. They're going to go for the dragon. I'm not going to be able to stop it. But I might have been able to weaken them enough for my team. No, I can't. Might be able to save my teammate there, though. I did. This is actually my worst game as Sona all day, sadly, which is kind of depressing. I was hoping I'd have a good game to show you guys. You can see that the next item I had picked up after my Frost Queen was Ionian Boots. Cooldown reduction, being able to spam all of her abilities is super important. You're going to want to try and get CDR wherever you can. And then I grabbed a Ruby Sightstone. Actually, I'm also going to upgrade my trinket as I'm level 10. You can do it at level 9. I'm going to upgrade my trinket into the blue trinket. So now I can place wards with the Ruby Sightstone, as well as I can drop Farsight trinkets, which are permanent but visible. And what I'm going to try and do is put those in primary locations but awkward positions, so that we can have permanent vision in areas until they take the time to go kill something there. And we don't have to waste wards, because these wards actually don't count towards my 3 ward total, as you can see. So that means I can get overall more map control with this new item build on Sona. And since Sona isn't a huge tank or a primary damage dealer, having a little bit of extra kind of map control on her is super duper useful as a champion. And you're going to see I'm going to activate my Ghost to try and help out here, because stuff is going to go down. You're going to see me ulti. I'm going to try and heal, boost movement speeds. This isn't good. That was not a win for us, unfortunately. We did get the Scuttle Wraith, but they got more kills and assists out of that. Pretty hurtful. You can see that I'm not trying to really kill or even poke them with those Qs that I'm throwing. I'm throwing those to build up gold, because like I said, that item gives me 15 gold every hit, which is about half of a minion now since they buffed minions gold. But when I hit 2 people, that's a whole minion every Q. That's only a 6-second cooldown. You can really try to keep up with ADCs a little bit better now in the support role with this item. There was another option to build my Ruby Sightstone into the Frost Claim, but I prefer to keep it as it's tier 3 and have the slowing ghosts on there, because I find the slowing ghosts to be very, very useful. Especially late game when you need just that little bit more movement speed to try and make something happen. You can see by using all my spells correctly, I was able to keep a really long slow on the Skarner there, like I just did there, and we've been able to do a ton of damage to everyone that was in this lane, which has really helped to give us some decent control. And you can see I've been spamming my spells because I'm trying to keep that triple power cord up. And you can see we were able to poke literally everybody that could have tried to stop us there out of lane. Oh man, and I missed my ultimate, which would have been for the kill. But my team was able to clean it up anyway, and using my movement speed and my heal to give shields and HP, we were able to easily follow up after the turret went down and grab a kill. And now my team looks like they want to go for Baron because we've got 2 down, their jungler and their mid laner, and we can probably go ahead and easily take it. The enemy team probably doesn't have it warded either, and I can place one of the permanent wards there and a secondary ward there since I don't have any wards up. By continuing to heal during this point, we can easily keep this up, and I'm going to use my ghosts to slow them down as they would try to maybe jump in. And the enemy team did steal it. Our team screwed up and did not smite at the right time. That's really going to hurt us. And I'm not going to be able to save her there because my spells were on cooldown, but I might be able to save and help him. And we're going to go for broke here to try and get rid of their Baron buff. And you're going to see that we're going to be able to do that. Oh, never mind. Skarner saved his ulti, and that was absolutely huge. But that failed smite really, really, really hurt us. That was a big loss for us to not get Baron buff and to basically hand it over for free when it should have been free for us. That's not really a mistake on my part, as Sona can't really secure Baron in any way, shape, or form. Not being built kind of as an off-damage support. Off-damage support, bursty magey person. Really all I could do was try and keep people alive, which I did a decent job of that, but I think I could have done better. There were some mistakes by me. I did not hit a lot of people with my ulti. I actually think I executed with my ulti, which is even worse. I should have tried to open with that to keep as many people alive as possible. I'm headed up. You can see I noticed that Skarner was not in a position. I was able to burn his flash, though, because I grouped up. And Caitlyn's going to get the kill. That's it. Good kill by Caitlyn. I wish I had been there for that. Darn, I didn't even get an assist there. Looks like we could push middle off of that, though. So what my goal is right now is to continue getting these permanent wards in places they might not check for a while, but will give us some key vision, and then I put my regular stealth wards in places I know they'll walk through, but we need vision. You can see they are trying to catch me here, but they're not going to, and now we have huge map control with ward coverage. I have 3 permanent wards on the map and 3 passive ending wards. So what I'm going to continue to try and do is get more wards on the map. In 15 seconds, I'll be able to drop another one. That's really going to help us. And they're going to ulti me, which isn't really a great choice for them, because that's a lot that they burned to kill me. And as scary as Sona is, she's just the support. And that was a lot of ultimates down that are on a pretty decent cooldown, where now we shouldn't have too much problem just pushing into turret and focusing kills like we just did there. And that's going to be the end of Zed. Zed's going to die. It looks like he's going to be able to revive and get away. Get away, get away, get away. Darn. Nope. But she might be able to snipe. No, she cannot. Caitlyn is really trying here. She's doing a good job now that the team phase has kind of began. If I can get in range here, I could really potentially help. Oh my goodness, and what an excellent play by our team. That's going to be some huge... And I was able to heal at the last second and save Caitlyn. And off of that, we will be able to Baron. There were a lot of deaths there. Holy cow. Or not Baron, but Tower. That's a big turret for us. You can see I finally got my... I'm choking. My 4th item. Oh, excuse me. Being the Lichbane. And what Lichbane allows me to do is doubles up on that 3rd hit kind of thing. After every spell, I get to do a bonus 137 damage now. It's based on my ability power, which is what you build on Sona. Ability power and support. So you're just going to see I'm basically continuing to get more and more powerful. You're going to see me drop a mini ward there, a semi-permanent there, and a semi-permanent there, with my final semi-permanent going here, so that we have huge Baron control vision. We have more vision up here. My next ward in 35 seconds is probably going to go right here. We basically have Baron completely under control with 2 minutes to its spawning. So that's pretty nice for us. You can see Skarner is trying to take that crystal back, and I screwed up. I forgot he gets a movement speed buff off of that, and luckily he's going to be there to save me. And that could have been really bad, but thanks to him it wasn't. Oh, this is... Now that's a pretty decent time for me to try and ulti buff in, drop some stuff, and I'm going to continue to throw damage and shields, but I'm going to go down, but our team should be able to get something out of this, but they're not going to because we did not have our ADC. That was a poor fight by us. Let's see if they can clean it up. No, they can't, but Baron's going to be safe. We didn't lose too much. This is actually the most items I've gotten to building on her. Sorry. Excuse me while I reposition a little bit here. I might need to adjust that. There we are. Go check. Alright, I am centered. And I think the next item I'm going to have to buy is they have... You know, physical blasting, physical blasting, physical blasting. They've just got a ton of physical damage. I'm going to build a Frozen Heart to give myself some resistance, but it will also slow down the enemy team's attack speed, as well as give us, or give me more cooldown reduction. You can see that my CDR is at 35%. I should be able to bring that to the 40%, 45% cap because of the summoner spells I'm running. And that in the end is going to be really helpful. You can see that I'm going in trying to run heals and shields. And it looks like I was able to do enough even though I'm lagging like crazy here. And yeah, I was definitely able to do enough. Our team's going to clean up the whole lot of them. And that's going to be a kill. Excellent. They'll be able to take Baron off of that. That was huge for us. You can see I've now hit that 45% max cooldown reduction. I essentially can use spells almost 50% faster now. That's huge, huge for Sona. Even with lagging in that fight, we were able to basically make some good out of it, with me only being like half capacity. I'm going to try and get some more permanent ward coverage here, as long as they don't spot them. You can see I've now got that one as well. That's going to help. The enemy team did steal Dragon. Again, that's another objective stolen. That's really frustrating. It doesn't seem like, although our jungler's been really good at the smites, And that's going to be huge for us, though, and I'm going to be able to just basically help our team clean up that too. Oh my goodness, we'll easily get Baron now this time. It would be absolutely catastrophic if we were to somehow lose this. There's pretty much no way that's even possible unless we really just hand it to them. I am really trying to do something here, and our team needs to get to Baron if we're going to do it. There's no longer any time. It's too late. We made the wrong call there with trying to chase. I'm going to put more ward coverage down. I'm still lagging, but it's more periodic lag, I suppose. We need to try and take the fight to them at a different location. This isn't a good place for us to fight because of Skarner's little side buff. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And this is going to be a really rough fight for us if they get onto us. Oh my goodness, and I lag out and our team goes in. This is really bad. Oh, and he's going to get that and then come back up. And he might be able, if he has attack speed ready, be able to fight them a little bit. And he can't. I was lagged out that whole fight. We could have won it. We should have won it, but I was lagged out, and it really stinks. What should I buy next? Becomes the question. No, my team's still taking... I'm taking a lot of magic damage. My team's taking a lot of magic and physical damage. I need an item to really help out kind of everybody. I think it's going to be the Locket of the Iron Solari. And what that does is gives me the ability to kind of throw magic resist to allies as well as a shield when I cast it. So I can give them a shield, I can give them magic resist. It's just all around a really nice item. And the magic resist, I don't have to even click anything to give it to them. That's just always, as long as they're nearby me. So I can make them a little more magic durable, I'm making them more physically durable. I'm essentially just keeping people durable all around the map and trying to help them in whatever ways I can. So we have kills all over here. This is going to be huge for us. This is going to be the game. You can see I'm keeping our team moving forward with my movement speed. I've used my ghosts to continue to slow people down. Continuing to heal. And that's going to be it. We have won the game. The auras helped keep everybody alive, keep everybody safe, and keep everybody moving. While I did tons of damage and was able to stun the people that tried to go for our heavy damage dealers. Sona in general just really excels at both keeping enemies off of people and healing your allies in between small skirmishes. And in the long run, that makes her very potent because her poke got so much stronger than it used to be with the new runes and masteries. Or the new masteries. And her heals and shields even got stronger than they used to be. Essentially, everything that was Sona just got bumped up by like one level. And with that, she went from being very strong to being absurd. And you can see, even though they were beating us in a lot of those fights earlier, they couldn't beat us late game, even though I think they had a really, really solid team to try and do it. Uh, I really struggled to basically pick some champions I wouldn't play Sona against. She's so versatile right now and so strong. But I think Blitzcrank would have to be that hardest counter for her right now, because if she does get pulled in, she does get focused down, like you've seen in that game in one or two instances. She dies very, very quickly. And so she needs to make sure she positions herself close enough to the fight to give auras to all of her teammates, but far enough away where she isn't being like primarily targeted by the enemy team. And if she does that right, she can just be absolutely dominant on the battlefield. I think that's huge, and she's huge for this game right now. But that is my review, and I'm glad I could show you guys a wonderful victory today that was ranked, actually. So, yet another ranked game, and I got an A plus rank or rating on it, so that's kind of nice. But that's it for today. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.